days, endorsed by people like Oprah Winfrey, Eckhart Tolle.
Give this guy about 4 minutes. This is talking about New Age.
It's very difficult to explain because, as you know, it brings in Eastern religions, Western religions, metaphysics. So it's very eclectic. It's basically a mishmash of many, many different religious thinking. There is no authoritative doctrine. There's no authoritative book. There's many, many authors. There's no authoritative figure. Again, a lot of people chiming in, and there's this long menu. You can pick from whatever you like. Now, that said, there is three principles that do seem to stream through all of them. First one is pantheism, the second one is karma, and the third one is self-actualization. What are these? Let's start with pantheism. Pantheism is this idea that everything is God, that we are part of God, that this chair is part of God, that we are all gods. Couple problems with that. First one is, if in fact everything is God, then God is evil, because we know there's a lot of evil in the world. They explain this away by saying that evil is just an illusion. Of course, tell that to the woman who just lost her 9-year-old daughter to the shooting in Arizona. It is not just illusion, it is a real category, and we know that biblically. Next, experientially. Am I God? Do I have the qualities of God? I can't even create anything. I can rearrange atoms, but I don't have the ability to create anything. Secondly, I have very little control over things. I can't control the pimple on my face. My 10-year-old daughter, I have very little control over her. So this idea that we are gods experientially just doesn't make sense. Number two is the idea of karma. Let me just mention a couple things about that. There's 6 billion people in the world today. 20 years ago, there was 5 billion people in the world. What are you working off in your first life? In other words, this is the idea that we are trying to be a better and work off our bad karma. On your first life, what are you working off? I don't know. They can't answer that question. It just doesn't make sense. And then there's this question of how much do I owe? If I'm in this cycle of karma, birth, and rebirth, when I go to my bank to check my statement, they tell me how much I owe the bank and what my interest is. In this particular case, we have no idea of where we stand.
This is the intellect.
So it's problematic. Finally, self-actualization. That is this idea that my morals, my reality, my truth is within, not without. I look internally for truth. Now, Western tradition, morality has always been something outside that restrains our
mankind
inclinations, our self-destruction. That morals are outside, and we follow those morals, and it restrains us.
Absolute truth.
Mankind.
Correct. In this particular case, I can invent my own truth. What happens when you invent your own truth? What any logical person would think, it leads you down the path of self-gratification and self-destruction. So, a couple of issues there, a couple of problems with it. Now, it's called New Age, but it really is an old hoax. Let me read from Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. Then the serpent said to the woman, "You will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." There's a New Age movement right there. Old Testament, been around for centuries. There's nothing new about it. It's an old deception.
It wasn't a deception. This is for that girl who's running around saying that I'm all into this New Age crap. You know, self-worship. Is that what we get into because we go into ourselves to find the truth? That's where they say the truth is. The truth is inside us. That's what the water and the well and all that is. Here he is trying to tell us that we're supposed to take our orders from outside of us. And the Bible is telling us that that's not going to save you. You're not going to get any salvation through mankind. And I had this information now, you know, just to give this guy credit, whoever these two people are, is D.P. Mosteller. D.P.M.O.S.T.E.L.L.E.R. You can go and listen to that yourself, you know. It's just running in the background, you know, because, you know, I don't even know what New Age is, okay? I had to go and find out. And so this was like a quick little thing on it. It was, you know, there's probably a whole lot more on the idea, but we carry on. Listen, let's say they use the Bible to define New Age. That's really funny at the end about that. The snake, I mean, they got it right on there. The snake telling the woman that she surely would not die. That's not the deception. That's the truth, you know? It's just the opposite, okay? It's just crazy, you know? Karma. Let's talk about karma for a moment. There's a part of this I hope this is working. Karma. When Jesus goes to help the blind man to restore his sight, he is asked by his group, was this man born with this sin? I mean, yeah, he was born with this sin. He was born blind. So was it his father's sins, the ones, he was just born in, or was it, he was born with it? So it would show this is one of those situations where it says, they were talking about karma. They're also talking about a past life. Could he have developed this somewhere else? And Jesus says no. He doesn't laugh at them or, wrong, you guys are thinking wrong. No, he said, no, it's none of this stuff. He spits on the ground because of the mankind, the world outside, spits on the ground, grabs that bit of dust, puts it in his eyes, tells him to go wash, and that he says, this is what's made him blind. The world around you. And so much for that as New Age is concerned. Okay, listen. This is like saying, oh, I never heard him say anything about the single eye, but that's the other part. Oh, this is scary, the single eye. Listen, they have done all their best to keep you from crossing this line. And look at these guys, if you go get a look at them, they're all clean and pretty, and they look like they're the authority on all of this stuff. Look at me. I'm just, I'm dirty. I wear Mickey Mouse shirts and stuff like that, I can barely spit the words out in a clear manner. And I'm telling the truth, But you'd rather go to something like that, those smooth talking motherfuckers, That's that smooth, small talking snake in there, Remember, the Kundalini has two sides to it. It's got an evil side, and it can talk up a storm. It's got the good side too. I don't think it matters. You come as you are with that one. Let's see, anything else in there? No authority. Everything I'm doing, I'm reading right out of this book. And there's words in there that mean things. And so I go into my other book and go and find out from it what that might be. Plus, I'm 55 years old. I've had 30 years of high Anglican religion. I was up to here, investments. I wasn't born yesterday, okay? I was reborn about 3 or 4 years ago, okay? That's the difference. And, and it's maybe just now catching on because, I've got this wonderful site to read the Bible now and see it for what it really is. It doesn't take any new age at all. All it takes is, how about intelligence? Is that something new in this age? A little bit of intelligence? When the Bible even tells you how to read it, it tells you if you read this by the letter, it's going to kill, and if you read this by the Spirit, it will save you. So there's an inside outside. Jesus tells you, hey, you guys that I've given parables to is because you're not worth it. Like, I put it right in front of you. You can't see it. You can't hear it. It's right there, but you just can't do it. Fuck you guys. Until you can repent, which means is to do the opposite of what you're doing now. And all of this has to do is connecting with the God. Bible. This whole Bible is nothing but how one serves God. That's it. There's nothing on there telling you how to eat properly. There's nothing in there telling you how to cut your hair. And there's nothing in there telling you how to wear your clothes. There's nothing in there telling you who to fuck and who not to fuck. There's nothing in there saying anything at all about anything in life other than connecting. And all of the energies that it takes to do this. It'll tell you about astrology. It's going to tell you some pretty interesting things about the invisible side of God's Word. Remember, the Word made flesh is, science turned into flesh, And all of these people, all these stories that we give these good guys to, we make Jesus, we make Moses, we make Noah, we make Abraham. These are monsters that turn around, that we turn around. We created these monsters, and they turn around and kill us. Does that make sense to you? Because this is what it means whenever we created religion. You know, if you follow it correctly, all of those giants in that book that we created are you and me. We are the guy that goes about killing things. We kill ourselves to make this thing work. You're Jesus. You're Moses. You're Noah. You're Abraham. And these giants that we create turn around and kill us. So this is what it means to have the fallen angels create something with the lower part of us. You know, when we mix with the girls, you know, with our emotions and stuff like that, you know, this is all about how to mix with God. The whole thing, the whole story is how to get to Him, how to get the whole book, and all those other books that never made it in there. You know, would be one huge ass book. But it's still, they just tell you how to get to Him. Hey, look, you know, hey, let's not take a stretch, but let's do something different real quick. Last night, and I'm having a hell of a time trying to get these things to upload. Last night I ran across a Trojan myth, the Trojan horse myth, and it's just really interesting. It's a Greek myth about the Trojan horse. And so what you have here is you have, you know, just let me give a little synopsis of the story and see if you can hear anything interesting about it. Other than some people have found that it's real. This is real. The city of Troy. And, oh, if they can find a little piece of that huge horse, you know, oh my God, that's all we need, you know, it's Jesus Christ, you know. Ugh, you know. None of this shit is real, okay? And whatever it is, it's like a prop of some kind, you know, left over from a Walt Disney show or something, you know, or a promotion from McDonald's. But here, let's just go here. So here it is. This is a tragedy or a drama that's played out between two cities, and one is Troy, which would be the good guy, and we would have who else is on the other side? Let's see. Damn, who am I talking about? It's the Greeks. So what we have are the two stories. We have the Trojans and these. God damn it, that's Troy. Troy is Trojan. Let's see if I can get this correct or not. What happens is that these Trojans come over to Greece and they steal the female. Now, we've done this before in a story where something's come up and taken the seed of the female. And then, you know, it's almost like, hey, you've taken the messenger out here, so you might as well have taken her, okay? So in this situation, she's taken, and she's taken over into the city, behind the city walls. And in order to catch her back, Ulysses comes up with this great idea. This is how we're going to restore things, okay, back to normal. And so what he does is he has this idea, and they start on working on it. So what happens is they come across the ocean, and they park right outside of Troy. All right? And what happens is they start building something, and all these people are looking over the walls of Troy saying, check out what these guys are doing. And they built a building that was 6 stories tall. Think about it. They had to say that. It had to have 6 stories in there. Doesn't it sound like the works that you have to do as you're climbing the ladder, Jacob's ladder, you know, as you're working up these chakras? Well, anyways, when it's all done, they remove the outside of it, and there is a horse. So it shows that, you know, when they've made it up to this 6th thing, this is where you're revealed. This is where, you know, and it was a horse. The horse is about strength, about restoration. That's really what it is. Plus, it's a beast, okay, which we are, the beast. And so in the belly of this beast is a little passageway that is hidden, and it contains Ulysses and 5 warriors, okay, and he's leading the pack. So when the horse is finally made, remember now, the horse, when they reveal this thing, it is 80 feet tall, okay? Not everyone's used to hearing the word 8 in things, but 8 is after the completion. You have this. This is your new you, okay? Okay. Just think about it. This is their way of trying to get in there. This is about meditation. I'm telling you. Oh, damn! I just hoping you do it on your own. So, anyways, all the Greeks, they get up, and they break camp. They burn all of the whatever they made their camps with. This is that fire business. It's the end of it all. And they run off and take off. And whenever all that's left is this horse on the shoreline. The people open up the gate and they scamper out there, and they love, what a wonderful thing, and they're making fun of them. They're just, giggling and poking fun of the Greeks. Yeah, look, they're giving us this peaceful gift, So hundreds of them gathered together. Hundreds, that's one. With zeros and zeros and zeros, unending zeros. Hundreds of people grab a hold of this thing and bring it from the beach, across the plains, to the gates of Troy. Now, this is fate. Well, anyways. So what happens is the people that are inside there are being very quiet. And they're waiting until there's no movement. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait. So there's a special little trap door on this thing. So they open it up, and when they looked outside, they saw that everyone was asleep. It was nighttime. Alright? And so what happens, they climbed out of it, and they found the people that were, the guards and everyone asleep. The men in the town were asleep. The men, the guards, just like our Bible tells, when you go under, the men in the town fall asleep. That's the lower mind has been subdued. The earth has been subdued. Remember, we're supposed to subdue the earth. We're supposed to subdue all the things that are living on earth. All right. So they're out there. The story is not over yet. They wrestle these guys. They put them in their binds. And Ulysses climbs up this tower. He climbs this tower all the way up to the top. And with a torch in his hand, he lifts it over his head and he signals the guys that are out at sea to come back. It's time to wreak havoc on these motherfuckers. It's time for the wrath, wrath of God. But is it God? Yeah, he's a God. Okay, but this is you. You're the God. So, are we gods? God comes right out and says, I call you. You are gods. Does God? Alright, so anyways, that was a really neat story. They grab the girl and take her home. That was the whole idea. This wonderful way of going into meditation takes away your adversary and reconnects you to your God. And so, so that's the inner love. This is this is where we get our truth. Is God evil? We can't say that God is in everything. God is in everything. That's the whole point behind Allah. Allah is not a God. Allah means everything. There are no gods. There is only Allah. So what do they say if you want to read that off the top? There's no other God. There's only one God. That's Allah. Only one God. No. Even Allah is saying there's no God. There's only Allah. Allah means everything. Yes, God is in everything. God is in you. God is in a rock. Okay? Yes. It is in everything. Okay? It just happens to be that way. Okay, maybe it will be the atom. Who knows what that particular part is, but what is in all of us and everything around us is atoms, electrons, and all these things that we can't see. This is God. Yeah, we are part of Him. Does He create good and evil? Well, I wish I had that scripture that was right on the top of my head. But He says, I, God, I make everything. I create the light, and I create the darkness. I create the good, and I create the evil. He says this in the Bible. He does it both. This is how we get Elohim. This is how we get the two sides of God. Oh no, he's not talking about that. He's talking about, way up there in when He created light, man, and formed everything. That's what He's saying. He created that. No, He's created everything. And the evil in us is just the lower conscious inside of us. Can you hear it raining? It's raining. So it's our lower conscious, and everyone has that. That's the devil. That's the devil. We can't say that it's not made up. Yeah, there's evil in the world. We bring the evil into the world, not the devil. The gods, you and me. Go out there and shoot somebody. Go out there and kill someone. That's not God going to stop you from doing it. It's not going to be the devil. Well, I would think God would. If you ever connect inside, go inside, and clean those things, those thoughts out of your mind. You're not going to kill somebody. What's going to kill someone is someone who has brought baggage over from the centuries of this pollution. Centuries of never going inside and cleaning your house out. Oh, I can't see it. No, you can't see it. But you have to, the way the story is that, hey, listen, you're probably pretty dirty inside. And when we mix things in there, it's like, bitch, because it's already mixed in there. That's a Buddhist thing. Rapture is Buddhism. Rapture only lasts just like that. They think rapture, I'm going to be taken up and I'm going to spend the rest of eternity somewhere. It's like that. You come right back down again and stub your toe and you go right back to hell. That's how it goes. You just have less hell to deal with. So what you'll do is you're going to run around till you come find out that you're Cain. You're marked right here. Use that mark and kill him. When you finally find out that you are this dude, that you are Cain, you're ordered to kill him by the Lord. Kill him. And it will open your eyes to a better place. That's the whole idea. You've got to skip over from mankind, which these guys that I talked about at the beginning of the story is trying to keep you in. This is where you're supposed to learn your morals. Listen, morals, thou shalt not kill. And here you're killing your brothers, you're killing your sisters, you're killing your moms, you're killing everything. You have to hate yourself. You have to hate your mom. God's coming to bring, fire upon the earth. Destruction, It's gonna kill you if you eat certain foods. You're a fucking sinner if you got long hair. This is where we get it. This is the outside telling us how to live. This is what the Bible says is the fake reality. That if you want to go in, I'll clean your house. I'll set you on the right course. Yes, this is where the truth is. This is where the water is. Water for the truth means it's clear. It's very clear. You hardly get anything clear out here. And whenever you have to cross the Red Sea, that's not clear water. That's full of blood. It's full of red. It's just too much emotions, You have to split it to get through that, I wouldn't even want to get it on me, these people, because it comes down and on your enemies when it's all over with. It's not New Age, so don't let anybody, if those guys were the main guys about New Age, I've run across each one of those and run right over them. Just like we do with this Bible, showing you that every bit, this is my authority. This is my authority. This is my doctrine. Don't go to no New Age sites. I'm not a New Ager. I'm a true follower of Christ. That's what I am. Anyways, I just want to say hi, and I love you, and I hope this is understandable, and we're all just going to grow together on this, This idea of the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, that this is what Jesus is. He's not a circle. Remember, there's no end. There's no beginning and no end on a circle. It has to do with when you finally find yourself. That's the beginning of life. You may be 10, you may be 20, you may be 75, you might be 80 or 90, like that, Abraham's wife, when she finally gets her baby. And so it's what they call that's the winter of our lives. So it's a shame that you find it. It's such a late time in our lives. I found him when I was around 50. It's kind of, I would have loved to have found this much earlier. Wow, God knows what kind of things I would, or who I would have evolved into without such an influence around me. But it was that influence that caused this. It's when you've had enough of this outside world that you finally find this place. When you finally find Cain, and destroy him, and know that when you do wake up again, you're not going to be the same. And don't be afraid of that. And persevere through those works. You know, I was showing you that you don't have to be religious to, you know, that whole idea behind Ulysses. I know that was a religion of theirs too. The story would keep on going on for just a little while longer, but I've told you the most parts of that. They pretty much are the same thing that we're talking about. All right. So, anyways, best to you guys. All right. This is the God's honest truth. It's the most truth that we could possibly find on the surface of the earth. All right. Enjoy.